And here we go! To the bottom of the map, we have our Terran player. He starts for the MVP team and is known as
MVP SC!
By the way, this version of Metropolis looks almost exactly the same as the other one. I don't know why it's light.
And we have to the top, in the blue color, our Zerg player for the StarTale team.
StarTale! Curious!
Like the mini-map looked like a little bit lighter than usual when I saw it, like the map preview, but I don't know, all the ways it looks the same. Maybe it's just always said light and I never noticed before, but don't worry about the map. I'm sure people are probably wondering, I wonder what this new light map is. It's actually probably exactly the same. Sorry guys, sorry for misleading you.
I just was wondering, I just looked at Wolf's screen and he looked at me because I still think that something with your monitor is a little bit weird.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think it's like 2.5D right now. It's like not quite 3D.
that is so spot on. The whole time I was thinking it doesn't really look like 3D, but you're right, this is 2.5D. Could we please get one of those 3D glasses with only one glass in it?
Oh man, I don't know. It's like not quite 3D, but it's like a little bit blurry. I'm kind of used to it now, but everything like Do you ever have those times when you get a new game? Like when StarCraft Beta came out, this happened to me where I just played so many hours I hardly ever went outside. Like during the first week, I was like going outside to get food and socialize a little bit, but I was just playing StarCraft all the time. You ever go outside and you just look up at like the trees and you're like, wow, like the shaders are so good, and you're like, what is this? Like it looks like the bloom effect is quite nice. Like anti-aliasing is at like 5,000%. Do you ever?
It's always nice if you just mix things up. I still remember when we had like a LAN going on for like 3 days and we went to McDonald's and ordered some food, and this was the time when you just would say, like, at least in Germany was a trend, if you second something you just would say #2. So you would write #2 on the internet if you are on exactly the same opinion. So we're ordering food, and one of the guys that was with me, he kind of liked the girl that was standing behind, so he kind of casually leans onto the counter and looks like pretty cool, looks her in the eye and is completely cool, like, yeah, #2 baby. And then he looks around like, wait a second, what did I just say? It was so awesome, and all of us just started laughing. We're like, oh my god, you're such a dork.
I wonder what the girl thought. Was there any conclusion to that story?
You should have seen her face. She was like, what? What is he going on? She didn't understand a word. He was like, what the hell? Well, but anyways, and let's just focus a little bit on the game.
I have a similar story.
Oh, you do?
Have you ever played the Sonic the Hedgehog series?
Yeah, a little bit.
Did you ever play the Adventure series?
No.
Well, there's Shadow the Hedgehog, which is like the arch nemesis of Sonic. It has an ability called Chaos Control where you can stop time. And my friend really likes Sonic Burgers. I don't really like them that much, but he went to this place called Sonic Burgers, and he told the girl at the counter that he kind of liked. He was like, I'd like my burger with little... Or she's like, do you need to have any special instructions? And he was like, yeah. He's like, I'd like a little bit of Chaos Control. Like, he just like said it like... He was like, maybe she likes Sonic. I'm like, that's so stupid. But the burger took like 30 minutes to come out, and we were like, does that mean that time was stopped in this case? I don't know. I don't know what happened. But let's move on. Because you don't know about Sonic, so it doesn't make sense to you. It didn't work. I'm like, sorry, Caldor. But,
to me or to the girl?
To the girl. The girl had no idea either. I don't know why the burger took so long. There was no actual Chaos Control involved.
Okay, so Chaos Control stops time?
Yeah, it's just time-stopping ability in
okay.
Sonic.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't know that.
No, yeah, anyway, it's fine. But, like, this is the awkward moment where Wolf tells a story that's, like, not funny, and then Caldor is just like, anyway.
It probably is funny if you know what you're talking about, but I didn't. I was just waiting for the punchline.
No, there's no punchline here.
But there's a Roach Warren.
There's a Roach Warren. I'm like, the Roach Warren, man. The Roach Warren just like brings us away from this.
Exactly,
like,
yes.
The Roach Warren is actually...
We've come a full circle now.
Yeah, we have. The Roach Warren is the guy with the stick who pulls me out of the quicksand. I'm like, thank you for saving me. I would have died otherwise. Okay, so now he's mining from 2 gases. And with the Roach Warren here... it's going to allow him to put a little bit of defend against the marine pressure that's coming out. Oh, this is... Keldor, oh my god, we like made so many jokes, we didn't see that he didn't take any gases, he just made 4 barracks. He's pulling all of his SCVs off of 2 command centers with 25 Marines, and this may work. The creep spread is really good for our Zerg player, Curious, but he's making a macro hatch right now. He has 6 roaches on the way, but the Marine damage output here for SC is just going to be too much. This is something SC is known for, doing these huge Marine timing attacks. In this matchup, we're going to see him hit right now. There are no Banelings, no Baneling Nest, no Zergling speed. He's desperately trying to make Spine Crawlers, but there's no way.
The SCV is already in the main base and blocking the Marines, doing a really good job here. He's using his drones, going for the mineral pull and trying to take down these Marines, but it's already too hard. We only have, at this point, still 30 Marines left, 30 Marines and 17 SCVs. There are roaches building, but this could well end in... this could actually end in SC's favor in just a second, as he is now walking up the ramp, but look at all these drones that he's pulling. He might be able to hold it.
He just does not have enough roaches right now. The drones are going down very rapidly. 24 Marines left, and not all of them together, but they are starting to join up now. He's going to have to avoid these Spine Crawlers. This game is far from over.
There's only one SCV. There is only one SCV left. MVP SC might lose. He has the Spine Crawlers in a good position.
He has to keep up the momentum.
Roaches. Exactly.
He has to keep up the momentum, because even though he has mules, they're going to allow him to make more Marines to keep this push going. But if he loses the momentum for a second, he's going to lose this game. This is his opportunity. These Spines have been relocated to defend the Harvesters. This is his moment. He has to see his opponent here. He's actually targeting down the roaches. The Marines will avoid the Spine Crawlers. He actually had a really good position with his Marines, but he decided to move because the Spines are there, and it looks like he's going to hold.
He didn't kill the expansion. That's one of the crucial points here. We have 10 drones left.
It's over.
I am not quite sure. He has 2. Does he have? He has 2 orbitals, doesn't he?
He only has a few Marines though, and the worker count for our Zerg player is 10.
How many Zerglings do we have? 13 Zerglings, 10 income.
Actually, yeah. In fact, you're right, because at this point he can't really put pressure on because there's a wall in play.
Yeah, look at the income. The income is in favor of Curious, but still with the SCVs in. Oh, and now it changes.
Yeah,
with the mules, he calls down the mules, and it might not be over just yet.
You're right. This game is not going to end. Not for a while. Considering, I keep considering this is like a 1 base push, but it's actually a 2 base push. There's 2 orbitals with double mules during this, and he can now just defend with this wall up that he has. His opponent has no Banelings, no ability to put aggression on. He does have Zergling speed, and he does have enough gas to make a Baneling Nest if he wants to, but he can't really afford, with this few Harvesters, to make Banelings right now. Doesn't have enough Zerglings even on the map to make us, to follow up the Baneling bust. If he busts the entrance, then what does he do? Because he doesn't have enough Zerglings to go through.
With the 15 drones that he had initially, he would have been able to so much faster get a high drone count, but at this point now we have only 10 after the engagement, and SC is now even ahead in income. He's ahead in income at this point.
Yeah, way ahead, in fact. Now that his SCV count is getting up a little bit higher. He's now at 11 SCVs to 21 drones, but the income, as long as the mules are mining, will just be ahead for now.
The one thing that is really going for, well, there are actually a few things going for Curious. He has speed, he has Zergling, so the map is really huge. We have a longer push distance between the 2 bases as they started cross, and therefore these Zerglings will detect any push very, very soon, so he can prepare for it. But this means that at this point he can safely just drone up. He knows that his opponent didn't get any gas before he started with his attack, and SC needs to take a little bit of a risk here, which is also why he's getting the 3rd command center right now. He wants another orbital, but with the Harvester count is now at 32 against 18 in favor of Curious, because he just was completely relying on his drone production, and he still is. He is still completely droning up like crazy. With SC not taking down the hatchery at the natural,
the production can continue.
Exactly. If he would have killed the expansion at least, then suddenly Curious would have found himself in a position where he might have been in the economy lead, but he didn't have the lava in order to produce all these drones.
Neither player, since both players lost almost their entire armies, neither player really had an army advantage after this. So basically, this is kind of a cool experiment to see how much mules really matter and how the production of SCVs. This is actually a cool experiment to see, like, basically, are mules balanced, and what does it mean when you can have only mules and then try to catch up with your opponent and workers, as the larva mechanic is in play here as well with injects, because you can make so many more workers. And it looks like, in fact, that, yeah, the Zerg player caught up in economy pretty well, and as long as the mules are not mining, he's way ahead in economy. Right now, the worker count is 50 to 27, and I have to say, I think that you know, mules are pretty strong, but they're balanced here because he's able to take an economy lead here. And as the game goes longer, of course he will. He has more production. In fact, a third base going down for him right now, as well as a macro hatchery. And he's only a little bit ahead in supply, as the army supply is 31 for our Zerg. I mean, actually, hold that thought. We have a little bit of Zergling action here. The army supply is 33 for our Terran player, 18 for our Zerg player, so he actually has almost twice the amount of supply in units because his opponent's been droning so heavily here. This is going to be another scary SC-style push where he just moves out with a ton of Marines and rallies Marines behind it.
Another factor is that SC was obviously not able to get aggressive on this map, so he could not just control the map, and therefore he couldn't control the creep spread, which we already see with the creep spread for Curious reaching the middle of the map. And with the 3 bases now, he has the production going, he has a macro hatch building as well, and this situation is still very good for him. SC is obviously behind, but still, this game is not over just yet. He still has a chance to come back into this. If Curious makes a few mistakes here, then he might as well lose the game. +1/+1.
Oh, he's going to trap all of these units with Banelings. I didn't think this would go as well as it did
nice.
For Curious. I thought Curious was actually... Oh, he does lose one there. But I thought, you know, he would just kill some of the creep on the edge and then go home. But in this case, he went a little bit too far forward. He went onto the creep. His opponent spotted him. He reacted well. As soon as he saw the Marines, he made all those Zerglings. He had the Banelings prepared as well. Now, SC does have a 3rd command center up and running. He's powering up barracks. Like I said, he knows almost better than anyone exactly how many barracks you need. He's going to go up to 8 barracks here. No tech, except he is getting, of course, +1 and his combat shields, but no factory tech whatsoever.
At this point, we have now the situation that Curious is going for the lair tech, so he is really looking very good. And we talked a little bit about his hold. This was actually really nice to see how he was able to kill his opponent's army, even all these SCVs that were trying to block the ramp. So he got into a good position, especially with the roaches that he had. Well, his army was so small, but he pulled it off nonetheless. And then he was able to transition out of it. And with the map control he had, he was just in a situation where he could make sure that he gets all these drones back. He focused completely on the economy, and now even making his creep spread once again. He just rebuilds a few creep tumors, and this is exactly what he needs to do. He knows about all these movements from SC, and SC is now back with 30 supply behind, sorry. Well, we have Curious now just trying to pick up some of the reinforcements and getting one of Zerglings,
Yep, he actually forces a stem with those Zerglings, but that's about all he accomplished there. This push continues. He's actually going to scan to see if he's being flanked, and will actually go ahead and scan probably to kill some more creep. Nice catch on reinforcements. I really like what Curious is doing here with his speedlings, but he still has to deal with the main army. Marauders at front. He should be able to deal with this, but will he get out? The Baneling's actually exploding on a lot of Marauders, but the Zerglings come in just in time to catch the Marines.
The reinforcement is there in order to clean it up. The Banelings don't have speed just yet. He doesn't even research it, if I'm not mistaken. He's going for the infestation kit and +2/+2. So when he comes down to the upgrades, Curious is just so far ahead already.
And he's just been showing great decision-making throughout this game. When to attack, how to attack, when to flank, flanking at the exact right moment, catching those units so the Banelings would hit them no matter what. And in true SC Foyu style, you can see 13 Marines in production right now, and that is it. Just now started +1 armor as well. He is going pure on Marine production here with all the production facilities he started. Look at his money. He keeps it so low. He does not queue an extra Marine. He just does not do that. That's not something he likes.
And talking about the money, just have a quick look at the gas of Curious. He has 1,000 gas, so as soon as he hits his tech units, he will be able to get whatever unit composition he wants to. We have his harvester count at 94, which is already too much, but well, he can transition into spine crawlers later on to defend his bases. And still these small engagements, while we have the huge battle now over here. All these... this is just too much for SC to handle. He is
great
relying...
splitting, but it's just he just doesn't have enough units.
And he doesn't have medivacs. He doesn't have tanks. He doesn't have medivacs. He doesn't have all these tech units that he needs in order to completely pull this off.
No, he does not have that. He's actually got a second wave of units coming across the map now, but they're even weaker than units from before. And this game is looking closer and closer to being finished, as Curious just has such a good lead. And the hold by Curious just compounded itself, like you said, on the map control and the drone production he has. He knew that with that map control, if his opponent went to attack him, which would be weird, he would be able to react in time because his map is so large. The rush distance at cross positions is actually just so huge. He knew he could just make purely drones, and of course, if you have hatcheries with larvae, you can just make drones faster than your opponent can make SCVs.
On a smaller map, this would be a problem, but on this map, he is able to prepare for it, and he's already 60 supply ahead, and his +2/+2 is going to hit in a few seconds.
Yep, indeed, and this base is scouted, but there's not a lot of pressure you can put on with this few units. Mainline hits are strong, they're good, and with 2/2 upgrades on these Zerglings, they take forever to die.
It just finished, so this last lot of Zerglings, that will definitely be able to clean out everything. GG! Calls
SC
down a mule and calls it quits.
Yeah, calls it quits indeed. SC showing his very usual style after the fact, but that 2-base, 2-orbital attack was so unique. It's not what I expected to see.
And guys, I think we have to apologize here for talking a little bit about off-topic for too long. Pulling a tastosis here won't happen again. We will focus on the games a little bit earlier. We didn't expect them to really go for this much of an aggressive strategy. It did not work out in the end. Curious defense. So actually really, really well done.
Yeah, it looks like StarTale looking pretty confident now. They only have to win one more game to win this, to go to Las Vegas. So MVP has to win the next 2 games if they want to go to Las Vegas. So this is so important. What player will they choose? Which player? This is the most important decision a Team League coach has ever had to make. And he has to make it now. He can't wait. Not only does he have to he has to use someone who can beat Curious, but he has to beat whoever else StarTale sends out after, which could be Bomber. It could be July. It could be Ace. It could be any of these players, okay? So this is an extremely tough choice to make. What will they do? Do they send out Keen right now? Do you send out Keen here? I don't know. I don't know. GOMTV is not there, man. He lost earlier.
Keen would actually be a good choice, but at the same time, I think that they might just save Keen for a Terran player, as we already said earlier. He is awesome against Terran right now, so
send out Genius.
Genius would be a good option.
It has to be, but I don't see Genius anywhere. Is that him? I can't see his face. I bet it is. It looks like Doug Funny from behind. Yes. It is Genius! Oh, man, it is Genius. This is who you have to send out. I actually, since Genius was not here for the last Team League, I kind of forgot about him for a second. I was like, who's it going to be? Genius. Of course, Genius. Of course, man. He didn't get to show himself as good as he wanted to in the last finals. He didn't get to do as good of a job. He wasn't able to beat his teammate Dongregu, but he may be able to indirectly beat Dongregu here, and being the hero his team needs in the moment of crisis. He's one loss away from not going to Las Vegas. We shall see how Genius plays today. I'm actually so excited because Genius is great in PvZ, but his other matchups are strong as well.
And I really like this decision.
Yeah, StarTale is going to be sitting on their booth going, all right, we just got to beat this guy, but can we do it? Can we beat Genius here?
The thing is that I really love this decision, not only because Genius is such a great player in his PvC, but that he's able to carry this clan war for MVP now, but at the same time it leaves them Keen as a sniper. So they can still use Keen with an additional map, and I really expect Keen to be used against a Terran player. As we said already, his games against Terran were so awesome lately. But, well, we're having a 5-minute break, ladies and gentlemen, and then we are back with the GSTL today, the semi-final between StarTale and MVP. It's been an epic day so far, and let's see how Curious against Genius is going to unfold.